Hey, Tony Gaskins here. Now listen to me. I'm in a hotel. Me and my wife getting ready to make a move here soon, so I don't have too long, but do have a little bit of time. But I wanted to pop in because I saw it hit the news, or well, somebody sent it to me actually, and then I seen it, and y'all gotta forgive me, I cut my finger. That Neosporin right there now. That ain't blood. That's Neosporin. Cut my finger opening my wife's water bottle. They got aluminum type water bottles out here. Top was so tight. But listen to me, I'm not one to judge because I'm far from perfect. I done did everything wrong as a man in my life. I first and foremost want you to understand that. But the thing about it is just because we have done wrong, it doesn't mean that we can't speak to what is right when we have seen the light and we have changed our life. And actually, it's those of us who have done wrong who need to be speaking up and speaking out, because who better to tell it than those with personal experience of being toxic in the worst of the worst in whatever situational scenario it may be. So I saw the NBA player, and I believe his last name is Bridges, and I feel like it's more than one guy with that last name, so I'm afraid to say his first name, but I think he was on Michael Jordan's team. And the mother of his children, she posted online, and I saw it on my Discover page, and she was showing her bruises and her cuts, and she wrote, about what happened. The saddest part is that her son saw it. And so on the post, he's on a video and he's talking to somebody which sound like maybe his grandma, because he talking to her like he know her real well. And he's saying, daddy choked mama. And she's like, what? Why he did that? He said they was fighting. His it was a little boy, so he talking how little boys talk, so it's not. And then it sounded like he said, he told him to be nice. And then later on, it sounded like he said he smacked him and told him to be nice, which is like, that's crazy to do that in front of your child. That right there let me know, and it's honestly make me so, scared to speak out, because I got a wife and I have two sons. And I'm going to tell y'all something that a lot of y'all don't like to hear or believe. But men are crazy, including myself. Every last man will take a life. The sad part about these guys today is they so sensitive and they so soft and they so scared. And I was like that when I was coming up too, real soft and scared. But what that makes you do is it makes you overcompensate. So it makes you become a killer. And when I say a killer, I mean in the literal sense and figuratively speaking, metaphorically speaking. But it makes you become that because you overcompensate, because deep down you really may be feeling insecure. And that's why I always say it. That's why I have to work on my insecurities constantly and daily, because like I have told y'all before, the most dangerous being on this planet is an insecure man. And the reason why is insecurity makes a man overact. It makes a man overcompensate. It makes a man do and say things and be things that he would not have otherwise been if he was confident and secure. And if you really look at it, you'll notice like the guys who really are about that life, you never really hear them talk about it. You'll never see it coming. Like there would be no innuendos online. But a lot of these guys, it lets you know that they got into this tough guy role for the wrong reasons. Because anytime you gotta talk about it, it just like I got a friend who he fly private everywhere. He never posted. He never posted. Now when I fly private, now when I fly private, I feel like I done posted it all not every time, but almost, because I ain't used to it. It's not something I was, it's not something that I really, really can afford. It's not something I should be doing. It's just something I do every now and then to stretch my mind, something, get out of the box. But it ain't something to where I should be doing. Y'all gotta forgive me now. I ain't got my ring on. Let me put my ring on right here, because I ain't married. I just got out the shower. I actually just got my shirt on, and I ain't got all my clothes on yet. Now I got bottoms on, but not my actual outfit. Now my wife texted me, so I guess the clothes ain't done. She changing the laundry because we at the hotel getting ready to leave. And what I was saying, these guys, they talking about this stuff in their music. And this particular young man, he actually, now what I used to do for the NBA until I got hired by an NBA team, let me take the ring off because I can't put it all the way on. My fingers swole up right now. I'm up here. I ain't got nothing to prove to nobody. Everybody know I'm married. Been married 15 years. My wife will be walking in here any second. But I used to speak to the rookies. If you know, the NBA draft just happened. But what they did is when I got hired by an NBA team exclusively, I could no longer go speak to all 60 rookies. And I used to talk to them about embracing manhood. And about 30 guys out the room every year would get my phone number, text me. So many of them still follow me today on Instagram, on Twitter. I still have a text message, but I haven't done that in a while. And if you from the NBA, Players Association of the NBA, give me a call. Y'all need to get real people back in there in front of these young men to talk to these young men like men. They got away from real speakers and they started bringing in doctors. These young men don't have the pedigree to be a doctor. They don't respect a doctor. They not finna listen to no doctor. They need somebody who done what they could possibly end up doing that's gonna cost them their life, cost them everything. And they don't have that on a real level. They'll bring some little hype speakers, but not somebody that's gonna truly expose themselves and tell, I done what you possibly might get ready to do. And so, listen, I done been that guy, and I done been out there and been like that in many different arenas. And it's not a lot of guys that done a little bit of everything, but it is guys out there, and that's what these guys, they come up. It's so many men today that's so scared and insecure of the real world, and they living in this bubble, and that makes a man overly aggressive. It makes a man overcompensate. And then for women, although even if she slap him first, this guy is huge. He in the NBA. But period, as men, we should never put our hands on a woman unless we literally defending ourselves in a way that we fear for our safety, our life. And you have to defend yourself to the point that you have removed the threat. It's not like you defend yourself and then you beat the woman to a pulp. It's meaning like you remove the knife from her hand or the gun from her hand, or you grab her hands and hold her hands and you call the police as a man. And I got to state that because so many people say, oh, she probably did this. She probably provoked him. She probably did. Listen, there's no reason for a man that's 220, even if he, however big as he is, and this a woman. And I seen the pictures of the bruises on her arm and her legs. And the sad part is in front of the kids. And it's like, as men, we got to grow up. You got to grow up as men. We got to be better. We got to learn how to love a woman, how to treat a woman the way God intends for her to be treated. Like, we have to accept responsibility, especially when you're a father and you bring kids into the world. And as a man, you got to change your input. I listen to this young man music and he rap about, I don't know if he talking about killing people or if he talking about beating people up or getting people jumped, or, but it's just like, listen, fellas, this not just to this young man, this to every pro athlete. You're a pro athlete. You not a thug. You is not a thug. That make me so sick. I get so tired of guys who making tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and millions of dollars want to be a thug. Grow up. You are not a thug. You not in those streets. If you in the streets, you are absolutely being stupid. I ain't gonna call you stupid. I'm saying you being stupid. You making the dumbest decision in your life. God done grace you and got you out of your situation. You in the pros, and then now you want to be a thug. That is the dumbest thing in the world. I remember when I chose the streets. I chose the streets. The streets ain't choose me. I chose the streets, and I remember my cousin who he chose the streets too. Now, it's a lot of people choosing the streets and then acting like the streets chose them. It's a lot of people, most people who in the streets, most guys who is taking lives, who moving weight, who scamming, you choose that because you could walk right past it. Ain't nobody putting no gun to your head and say, hey, you got to get out here in these streets. Ain't nobody doing that. When guys in the streets, they don't mess with the people you call nerds. They don't mess with nerds. They don't, the smart guys, they don't mess with the athletes. Ain't nobody forcing nobody into no streets. Especially this day and age, y'all boys dancing on TikTok. And the streets ain't like that no more. It's like these guys is creating drama. They creating problems. They creating pain and putting mamas in black dresses just so they could rap about it. It's not even that serious. Like, what is you killing somebody over? Like, why are you killing somebody? Like, what? Like, that don't even make no sense because he rode down your street because he slept with a girl you used to sleep with or what have you. What's up, baby? Was that text like you needed me to do something?
I was just telling you, I have to wait. It was on the last.
Oh, okay. It was on like the spin cycle. It's like, it don't even make no sense no more. Like, I could see, like, you know, you in a neighborhood and these guys finna be coming in and messing with your sister, messing with your mama. Like, they just pillaging the town. And so you form a gang to protect yourself. But these guys is rapping about beating up people, killing people. And what is it over? Somebody said you not good. Somebody said something online in a comment you don't like. And that's why I told you, I said, you know, I'm even scared to make videos like this, to speak up and speak out, because an insecure man is dangerous. Like, an insecure man really will put a price on your head, because when these, and that's why I try to tell women, do not deal with a man who cannot make a decision to grow. I literally have to fight every single day to grow, because I could be very insecure. I could be very immature. I had to get to a place, because that's in us all, especially men. Especially men, but it's in women too, because I see a bunch of memes and I see a bunch of women, you know, making little jokes about when a woman asks a man how he doing and he fine, and who we texting. And so it go both ways. It's human nature to be territorial, just how we are. And you see it in even little kids, selfish, jealous, competition, in the purest and innocent thing. And so as adults, if that's not checked, if that's not changed, if you're not taught as a child, like, listen, be confident, don't be jealous of what somebody else has, share your toys, like, don't brag about what you got, don't do this. If you're not directly taught that, you grow up with that. And you come to a place in your life to where a man really got to come to a place to where he about to lose it all, and he forced, like, it hit him so hard, he wake up and realize the error in his ways. And that's what happened with me throughout my life, over and over and over again. And every time you grow and you get better. and you get better and you change. And so I'm a firm believer in change, because I change and I grow every day. I tell people all the time, if you knew me yesterday, you don't know me today, because I grow daily. Like every single day, I'm trying to become a better version of myself. So I know change is real. I know men can change and men can grow. And so many women, a lot of women negative about that. Oh, level don't change the spots, and once a cheater, always a cheater. Once this, always that. And that could be the case unless a man is actively seeking growth. And so you have to, as a woman, you got to recognize crazy early. Do not think it's cute when a man is, you 1 year in and he choking you, he pushing you down, he, every month or every other month. It might not be every week. It might not be every day. It might be every month. It might be every 3 months, to where you literally getting physically handled and you didn't even do nothing. Like, it's not like he came home and you in the bed with another man or something crazy and he flew off the handle. It's just routine aggression. And you have to recognize that. And you gotta call it out. And you gotta call it out early. You gotta speak to it. Because see, now listen, this will happen, and you'll see people, this will happen, and the woman will grow and change. I remember coaching a guy. His lady played tackle football. He said, man, she body slammed me on the hood of the car. And she was a linebacker. It's like, man, she body slammed me on the hood of the car and then punched me in the nose and broke my nose. He was like, man, I'm bleeding. And I knew his girlfriend, he had to leave her. And so I said it to say, it's how a person is raised and what they see growing up. And so imagine, we remember when the situation happened, with Chris Brown and Rihanna. And that's when I went on Oprah and told my story from 5 years prior when I was in college. It was nothing like that. There was no black eyes and bust lips and all of that. But there was a situation in my relationship where I found some infidelity. Some other things surfaced, and I flew off the handles. Now, in the situation, it was pushing and shoving, screaming, yelling. People, we in a college dorm room. But even with that, I said, this is not love. I left the relationship because I said, if I got to get to a place to where I'm losing myself because of the spiritual warfare, I don't want to be in this situation. I left the relationship because it was draining me and it was breaking me. It was changing me, and it was spiritual warfare. And I saw that with Chris Brown and Rihanna. I saw the spiritual warfare. And so that's why I spoke up and that's what really made me become a relationship coach, is speaking from the things that I witnessed, the things I experienced, the thing we go through. And listen, no human is exempt of these type of things in relationships. A lot of times when it's put on display like that, we look at it like it's barbaric. But when I promise you with everything in me that Barack and Michelle could go through that. Like, any relationship can go through toxicity. And so you have to recognize it, and you got to call it out. It got to be confronted. It got to be addressed. And then there has to be a desire for growth and change on both sides. And because even into the ladies, listen, you're a grown woman. You are a grown woman. So at the same time, although this man could be completely, totally in the wrong, and we don't know what happened. We don't know what got it to that point. What was said, what was done, or if it just was out the blue, if he was drunk, or he was sober. We don't know what got it to that point. We can't judge and speculate because we don't have the facts. But the fact still remains is that we are adults. And if you're not an adult, you still got a head, you got a brain, and you can make a decision. And you have to say, okay, this didn't happen and there's no change. Like, I don't feel comfortable. This don't feel safe. Like, don't get into place trying to reinforce the tough guy act. When you guys want to be killers and they want to rap about drugs and guns and they want to act tough, and like, there's absolutely no reason for this young man or any pro athlete to be a tough guy. There is absolutely no reason to be a tough guy. When you making that kind of money and you could change your family life for generations, and y'all guys being tough guys, that, like, sit down, like, bro, put you some glasses on, put you some reading glasses on, get you a cup of tea and poke that pinky out there while you drinking that tea, and just let them millions stack up in that bank, and set your kids up and your kids' kids and your kid. Like, you should not, as men, we got to get to the point. Going forward, from this day forward, we got to get to the point. If we feel we in a situation that we have to get physical or even verbally abusive with a woman because of where that relationship at, we as men got to be mature enough to walk away. Even as a man, if you in the wrong, if you done cheated and she fly off the handle, you got to reprimand yourself and say, I messed up. I broke the trust. This getting out of hand. You ready to get physical. I'm ready to get physical. We flying off the handles. This is toxic. I'm going to leave this relationship because obviously if I got to cheat on you, I shouldn't be with you. If I got to cheat on you, that means it's at the end. It's time to let go anyways. Like, listen, we got to do better. We got to do better. And I'm gonna do more videos on this because this just stream of conscious. So y'all got to understand with these videos, I'm talking from the heart. So that's why I bounce around. When you turn your camera on and you try to do this, then you'll see why I bounce around, because this ain't easy what I'm doing. Formulating your thoughts on the spot. I don't have no note cards. I ain't got none of that. You know, my wife, she in the bathroom getting ready and stuff now, so it's not distracting. But when she be around me, you know, I be looking, and that be distracting me too. So I'm gonna do more videos on this, and listen, I'm putting my life on the line to save somebody else's life, because I'm here to tell you, a lot of times people don't. I done been that man. I done been this young man I'm talking about. I done been him. I know that mindset. You will kill. You will kill. I would not be surprised if he have killed somebody. I would not be surprised. It's a lot of athletes. It's a lot of athletes who have murders. I've been working with Baylor basketball for the last 3 seasons. And when the head coach who's there now, when he took over, it was on the other side of one of the basketball players killing a teammate. It's like, you in college on a scholarship getting an education. Why are you murdering people? But that happened. That Aaron Hernandez situation, he ended up taking his own life, they said, allegedly. I don't know really what happened behind them doors in that prison, but you got to think about that. You got to think about that and realize, like, that's why people see me with security, and my security is somewhere standing, they watching, and they got on them what they need to have on them. That's because I understand the fragility of the male mind. So I could be making a message like this, and woman could leave him, and he could have her phone and her computer and see that she been watching me. And now he put a price on my head, or he coming for me himself. Because when I was that man, I would have did that. So when you understand the mindset, you move differently. A lot of people like, oh, no, that ain't gonna happen. No, that's crazy. No. And it might not be to try to shoot somebody or take their life, but at least try to fight you, get you beat up. And so I have to be careful with these messages. And then I know a lot of NBA players, I could end up meeting this young man. I could end up working with this young man. Somebody could call me for this young man. That young lady, y'all got to remember, I got 3.5 people online. That young lady could watch my videos. That young lady could see this video. And so I have to be sensitive in what I say. And the stuff I say that's hard, that's tough, that stuff I say directly to a man's face. That stuff I say directly to a woman's face. The way anybody who done had a coaching session with me and it was on something like that, they'll tell you I'm direct. And the reason why I'm direct with people is because I'm direct with myself. Like, listen, my growth painful. My growth more painful than anybody's growth because I got more issues than anybody. The people who could do the most talking and understand stuff on the deeper level, we got the more issues than anybody. That's how we could talk about it. That's how we understand it. We got more spiritual warfare than anybody. We done made more mistakes than anybody. Where you think we speaking from? You got to have something in you. You got to have an understanding, whether you done seen it, done it, experienced it, been done to you. And so I say that to say, listen, don't play with this. If you in a situation and it's on the verbal side and it ain't got physical, and the verbal, it may be bad or it maybe ain't all the way bad, but you notice a little tweak, a little tinge, address it. And I don't always, sometimes people say, oh, just leave. Listen, we got to stop just telling people what to do with their life because you're not in that situation. You don't know what all they got to let go. You don't know what all they going through. You don't know what all they dealing with. You don't know what all it is. And so you got to understand that. That's one thing. The other thing is somebody standing outside my window. The other thing is every human is flawed. So somebody could be in this stage of their life and they could grow and change. And so if we say, oh, if somebody done said this to you, just leave. But if they willing to put in the work and do the work and they gonna hold each other accountable and they not gonna tolerate, they not gonna reinforce immature, insecure, disrespectful behavior, and they're gonna hold each other accountable, they're gonna call each other out, they're gonna grow, they're gonna change their mindset, then those humans can grow and change. Now, when a person don't wanna grow, when a person don't wanna change, when a person not trying to be better, when they continuously doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over, and you done tried to give them grace, like Christ gave you. You done tried to show love, but you on the 3rd, 4th, 5th straw. At that point, somebody don't want to change, you got to go. If you're on the 3rd straw, they don't want to change, you got to go. And sometimes people will change, they'll grow, and then they may relapse. But at relapse, you got to make sure you don't reinforce that. You got to make sure that ain't get out of hand. And you also got to understand your situation and make sure you feel safe and comfortable. You know, make sure that you're not afraid of the person you with. Because if you deathly afraid of the person you with, where you really just in your heart believe that they might choke you in your sleep, slit your throat in your sleep, then that's a situation you never want something to get to a place to where you got to live in fear every day. You got to drop everything and leave. You got to drop everything and leave, no matter what it costs you, no matter what it takes to start over. If you got to be in a shelter in another state, you got to drop everything and leave because your life is more precious. And listen, when I tell you, this young lady, I don't understand why her whole back of her leg is bruised and down her whole arm is bruised. Now, she is light skinned, but even light skinned, you know, this guy probably looked like he looked like he like 210, 215 pounds. And he, you know, is a big boy. And in front of his son, so like she said in the post, her kids will forever be traumatized. It's in front of her kids. That's a situation right there. That's too dangerous to go back to because it's other elements that went in there. There's other elements that went in there. The fact that it was done in front of the kids, that mean that he had no emotional intelligence. That is, and I'm telling you from a man who understand men, who understand the male mindset, that's a man that'll kill you. That's a man that'll kill you. That's a man that'll kill somebody else, another man too. It ain't just that. A lot of times women think, oh, if a man will do this to a woman, he ain't no man. He'll never do that to a man. No, crazy is crazy. A man will kill a man too, and as well as a woman. It's crazy. It's crazy. And so for her to post that, it's because she know how he move, and she know his behind the scenes. So she putting that out there because she literally fear for her life, and she just letting the world know. If she put that out there as a defense mechanism to say, now he can't kill me because everybody gonna know. He's gonna be suspect number one, numero uno. And so she put that out there as a defense mechanism for her, and she say to help other people so other people don't have to go through it. But deep down, it's defense mechanism as well, because what he did, and the thing about it is, not everything gonna leave a bruise. You know, not everything, just the trauma of the event in itself with your kids there watching, that's something that's probably gonna give her, you know, nightmares for years to come. And so for her to see that, if she feels she in fear for her life. And so that's why she posts that as well. Will it help somebody else? We don't know, because a lot of times with humans, we don't care about other people's life. And we just like, oh, until it knock on our front door, we really don't process it and take it all the way in. And so will it save somebody? It probably will. Somebody on the verge, but for the most part, people are already blaming her. People are already, and that's how humans are. And it's men and women. Oh, she probably provoked him. Oh, she probably hit him first because he got millions of dollars. Why would he risk that? It's like you got to look at the individual, each individual, and their own situation. I saw this coming after I heard his music. After I heard his music, I said, this guy, this ain't gonna end well. If he don't get the right people around him to mentor him and help him grow up, this is not gonna end well. Because one thing about it, what you put into the world is coming back. That check you writing, you're gonna have to cash that check. You eventually gonna have to cash that check, and it go both ways. So if you're a tough guy, guess what? It's somebody else that's just as tough as you. Bullets shoot both ways. Guns listen to who hand it's in, and a gun don't care who hand it's in. So to y'all guys with all this tough guy act, and you want to be on the internet with this tough guy act, and y'all guys making this music, y'all rappers, please change your life, change your mindset, get onto some positivity. Like, change. If you can't change for you, change for your kids, change for your grandkids, change for your legacy and your lineage. Like, find purpose in your life. Like, it's more to life than trying to be tough and want to beat up people and kill people and want to poke your chest out and just show off money and, you know, opulence. Like, we have to find substance in life and grow up and change our lives. We got to. It's on us as men. We can't keep looking at women and saying, hey, y'all change and y'all do this, y'all do that. We have to change as men. We got to grow as men. And I'm leading, starting with myself, growing and changing. And I say, you know what? First 38 years of my life done been okay. But this next half of my life, if the Lord let me live it, I want my wife and my kids to be able to change their whole narrative about me, about my emotional intelligence, about my personality, about my attitude. Anything negative I done, I want it to be washed away with the good, so that when they if they get to eulogize me, they'll have good things to say, and they'll see my growth and progression as a human being, as a man, and see that I never stopped growing, that I didn't give up, that I didn't, just get complacent. And that's what I'm challenging men to do. Like, pursue perfection. Don't give yourself an excuse to say, oh, nobody is perfect. Pursue perfection. Jesus said, be perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. Pursue perfection. Because, yes, we know it's not attainable, but as Vince Lombardi said, you will catch excellence along the way. And that's what we got to do. I'm trying to be perfect. And I got to be hard on myself, because if I give myself an out, if I give myself an excuse, then guess what? I'm going to be less than a man. I'm going to just chicken out, and I'm going to be toxic. I'm going to be the worst, because like they say, you aim for the moon, you miss, you land amongst the stars. And so you got to aim as high as you can aim. And I believe it was Les Brown that says, not that we aim high and miss, is that we aim low and hit. So you got to change your goals. So think on this. And if you're in that situation, save yourself. Save yourself immediately. Call a friend, get an ally, and get out. If you fearing for your safety, get out. Get out immediately today. And if you a male or a female and you watching this and you the toxic person, grow. Grow. Listen, there's so much more to life. We could be so much happier, so much healthier. Grow. I'm in a season of growth, and I'm experiencing just changing my mind and just winning those internal battles every day. And speaking of, I made a free course on Tony Gaston Academy called How I Changed My Mindset. And I'm just sharing the tips that I'm using, because every single day I have terrors or, just thoughts and spiritual warfare just from the things I've done, the things I've seen, the things I've experienced. Those things don't leave you. Those things don't leave you. And so you got to fight a good fight of faith every single day. But it comes a time to where you start to create patterns and you start to build new habits, and your brain start to reform, and you start to get mentally stronger. And so I can't think about, since I've been working, I can't think about a day that I haven't been tested to where I could have went back to the old me, and I had to win that battle. So listen, God bless y'all. We still moving around. It's summertime, so we moving around a little bit. So you may see me shooting from, not my home office for a few more days, a week or so. But God bless y'all. I try to pop in, shoot the video in the downtime when my family busy or doing something else, and I get a few minutes, and then I just put it on the Wi-Fi and upload it. But God bless y'all. We'll talk soon.